What is up, you guys? Welcome to a rebroadcast of Midlife Vibes on an unscheduled live stream here this Thursday afternoon at around 5:40 p.m. because we have some breaking news. OMG, Ronnie is correct. So cancel your trip, put away your plane tickets, pack that luggage back away because if you looked at the thumbnail, you know what we're talking about here. 1 second to get my phone up and running here and make sure everything is good to go. I don't know why when I'm on there on my phone, it's still. You said there's no sound right now? Can you hear me? No sound? Oh, we had to cancel. I know, Michael. Can you hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me check. I'm going to check the sound real quick, you guys, here. So someone let me know in the... Okay, hear you. Okay, good. I thought someone said no sound. So maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but we'll see. Sounds fine? Okay, good. Good job. So thank you. Someone knocked on my door. No, I'm actually live streaming right now, Jessica. Woo. I do not want wonton soup. Thank you very much, though, for offering. Jessica has the perfect timing, and I'm hoping she feels better. Hey, Juan. Hey, Brittany's new page. Yes, Jessica is on a permanent vacation. No, it's a temporary vacation from Disneyland. So we're going to kind of just jump into here and get into this, you guys. As you heard today, or maybe you did not hear today, we were actually at Disneyland when we got the announcement that Disneyland will be closing this Saturday. That goes for Disney California Adventure and Disneyland proper. And they are closed as of this Saturday. So a bunch of our friends were like, we have to go Friday. I'm like, sorry, my schedule's done. I will be working Friday. But we were there today, and what a rainy day it was. But it was a fun day, actually, at Disneyland today. We got to take a first-timer, and it's always fun to take a first-timer to Disneyland. But they're closing. So I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to go, because I really honestly didn't want to go. I don't like going to Disneyland in the rain, but I'm glad that we were able to go. Hey, Jeff Pike, how you doing? Brittany's new page. Steam Beam M, Wildlife Nature Lady, how are you doing? Hey, Sharon, how are you? So, I was actually very happy we got to go. We got to ride on Smuggler's Run. We got to ride on the train. We got to ride on a few other rides. And actually, Becky is over at the parks right now with her brother and his wife. And they were able to get onto Rise of the Resistance. I believe their boarding time happened. They were late getting into the park, so we got boarding group 130, I think it was, or 133. But they called it already, so lucky for them, they get to ride it. But it's crazy that they've closed the parks. And I understand, I was just reading this morning, the city of Anaheim is going to be putting a ban on any gatherings over 250 people or more. So basically, Disneyland gathers more than 250 people. But if you keep reading into the news, and now a new announcement has happened on top of that, Walt Disney World and all of its parks is closing after Sunday, I believe it is. So as of Monday, they are closing. Hey, Richard. And so that's closing. And then Disneyland Paris also, I believe, will be closing. And I haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm pretty sure Universal Studios is now closing also until the end of the month or sometime near that time. But the crazy thing is that we've never seen anything like this before, where Disneyland has been closed down for this long. Yes, it's reached capacity or something, or it was a crazy fires or thunderstorms or something where they've had to close for the day or something. But for Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World to close down for half a month is crazy. And everyone's like, what is everyone going to do? I mean, I have people message me like, well, what are they going to do with the annual pass holders? What about the month? Do I have to pay for the month? Do I have to, still pay for my pass and this and that? And Yes, you do. Yes, you do have to still pay for it. You're going to be missing a couple weeks. Will they do something for us? I have no idea, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, like I said, our friends Michael and Carrie were coming down this upcoming weekend on the well, maybe not this weekend, the next weekend on the 21st, and they just pretty much had to cancel their whole trip because the resort's closed. And it's really crazy to think that there's it's closed, and we know Universal's closing. The next one, I'm pretty sure we're going to hear something from Knott's Berry Farm pretty soon saying that they are closing too, unless they're like, hey, we don't care about the COVID-19 virus. We're just going to stay open, and everyone's going to have to come to our park. But I'm pretty sure they're going to close, and we'll see what happens there. The first thing that went through my mind, actually, though, is my daughter works for Disneyland, for Disney. And what is she going to do now? How is she going to earn income for the next 3 weeks? Is that right? It's about 3 weeks worth of closure. Hey, Yaya, how you doing? So Six Flags Magic Mountain, I believe, it was closed due to rain. I don't know if it's closed yet, but I haven't heard anything on it. Let me know in the comments if you've heard about Six Flags Magic Mountain closing down yet. But, what is she going to do now? Now, I've heard, and I can't find it anywhere, so maybe if one of you guys have seen it in a news article, a legit news article, not like some Facebook, like, The Onion or something, news article, but that I heard that they are still going to be paying the employees at Disneyland and Disney World, which is awesome. And I'm sure it's like, because a lot of their employees are part-time, so I'm sure it's going to be based off of average hours worked. So if you're a part-time employee and your average hours in the last 60 days or 90 days or whatever the case may be was an average of 16 hours a week, then that'll be what they pay you. The good thing in California here too is, and I was telling my daughter this, is that you can still be employed by Disneyland, and because they're not offering you any work, you can file for unemployment temporarily while they're not offering you any work. Now, unemployment, you get a certain percent of what you make at your job, but if Disneyland pays you, then obviously that's not the case, and you can't file for unemployment. You can't get paid from Disney for not working and get unemployment at the same time. So it's good to see that Disney would step up and still pay their cast members the money, even though they're closed. That's something that we all sit here and we all gripe a little bit about Disneyland and how expensive it is and how greedy and how they take a lot of money and stuff. But to be honest, if they do that and they pay their associates and their employees, their cast members, whatever you want to call them, during this time, this closure, that would speak a lot for me anyway, as far as the Disney company is concerned, as far as them taking care of their employees, because they are going to have to reopen up again, and I'm pretty sure Disney doesn't want all of their employees just jumping ship and going find a job somewhere else, because it's hard to mass hire for a park that size. It's hard to employ. What do they employ? Like 40,000 people? I mean, it's hard to keep that many people employed in this day and age. So, we'll see. Jeff Pike said, I heard that they will be paying their employees. Most large corporations are paying their employees. Well, that is good. Magic Mountain is by my house, and I haven't heard anything yet. Let me know, Brittany's new page, if you do hear anything. Hey, Sierra Stewart, how are you? The post about the cast members being paid is on Disneyland's website. Cool. Awesome. So, I wasn't, actually, this is very impromptu. I wasn't even planning on doing a live stream, but then I was just like, you know what? A, I feel like talking to you guys, but B, this is something so important that, I wanted to just talk about it. And because there are some people who maybe did not get the news or did not know that Disneyland is closing, and I wanted to make sure everyone knew that they're closing and that they, have an opportunity to cancel their plans. So at Disneyland in California, the Disneyland park and Disney California Adventure are closing as of basically Friday night will be their last night of operation until next month as of right now. Now that could be delayed even longer. We don't know, but we're assuming right now what they're saying is that they'll be closed till April. The hotel is letting guests stay there until I want to say Monday, March 16th, to give them a chance to make arrangements to get out of Dodge because they can't just kick everybody out on the street. So on the hotels, I'm just going to read this to you guys. I'll read the whole update, actually. While there have been no reported cases of COVID-19 at the Disneyland Resort, after carefully reviewing the guidelines of the Governor of California's executive order, and in the best interest of our guests and employees, we are proceeding with the closure of Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure Park beginning the morning of March 14th through the end of the month. The hotels of Disneyland Resort will remain open until Monday, March 16th, to give guests the ability to make necessary travel arrangements. Downtown Disney will remain open. We will monitor the ongoing situation and follow the advice and guidance of federal and state officials and health agencies. Disney will continue to pay cast members during this time. It says it right there. Disneyland Resort will work with guests who wish to change or cancel their visits and will provide refunds to those who have hotel bookings during this closure period. We anticipate heavy call volume, yes, you do, over the next several days, and appreciate guest patience as we work hard to respond to all inquiries. So, a lot going on there, you guys. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the comments. Guess they might take advantage and do some upkeep, Disney World and Park. Well, that's true that, we think the park is closed, so I'm sure they will still have some employees working, like for our daughter anyway, Photo Pass, there's going to be nobody to take pictures of, so obviously she won't be working, but there might be some landscaping, some painting crews, maintenance crews, things like that, that will be still working in the parks. Just because Disneyland is closed doesn't mean that everybody isn't working there. That's just going to be a ghost town. I mean, they'll still have to have security around the parks. You can't just leave it unsecure, right? So there will be a lot of that going on there. But it's really curious to see how this affects, because so we think of Disneyland and DCA and that just alone. And then I even think like, well, downtown Disney is going to be barren. It's going to be empty, because really what drives downtown Disney is Disneyland and DCA and the hotel business. So if that's all empty, there's really nothing to drive the mall we call downtown Disney right outside of Disneyland. I don't think they're going to see a lot of foot traffic there. And that'll definitely affect a lot of the vendors there. So my question too is, are they going to, maybe give the people who are renting retail space there a break this month as they've closed? I'm sure they would have to, because you're not living up to your part of the contract. Part of your contract is about how you can guarantee traffic flow to this area to help your business make its income that it needs to make, to be able to pay the rent, to be able to pay the employees, to be able to make a profit. So it's curious about that. But my real concern, I think, is what's going to happen outside of Disneyland. So if you've ever been to Disneyland and you've ever walked on Harbor Boulevard, how many hotels are there? How many people just called all those hotels and said, cancel, cancel, cancel? And then how many people have reservations that there maybe were like, there is no cancellation? Are the hotels going to give them a break and let them cancel? Are they not going to be able to cancel? What's going to happen to all the employees that are non-Disney employees that are working at hotels and resorts outside of the Disneyland Resort? Those hotels are going to become empty. Those hotels rely on Disneyland to be open to bring tourists in, and they book the rooms, and then the restaurants get full, and so on. Well, now with Disneyland closed for 3 weeks, it's going to be a ghost town down there. But what happens to all the people working there? I know Disneyland is a huge corporation and they can afford to pay their employees. So now do all those people have to go on a temporary unemployment? do some of these businesses just go out of business because they can't sustain 3 weeks of no business at all? What's going to happen? It's really going to be interesting to see what happens around Disneyland. Yeah, and it's just, like, what happens? So this is just, this is not even as serious as what we're just talking about right now, but like, what happens to all the people who have a lanyard for food and wine and Disneyland's closed down? How are they going to do this? Let's see here. Let's read some of the comments here. Human person, I'm sad. I should have tried to make it to the parks when Magic Happens debuted. Yes, you should have. Kiddo, it's going to be a ghost town. It's going to be a ghost town in Anaheim and many other places, I believe. Kiddo TV, dark times indeed. But if we support our family and friends, we can make it through this. I am already planning on seeing you all on the backside of this. Thank you, Jeff Pike. I can't wait for you to come down. Lisa says, airlines and hotels are being very flexible with cancellations, and most of the time are allowing them without fees. Well, that's good. I believe that's the right thing to do, because this is out of people's control. They really can't control it. See, El Cruz says, yeah, too bad. The area will suffer a bit. Didn't the website say Downtown Disney would stay open? Yes, Downtown Disney is going to stay open, but you have to understand, Downtown Disney is not really a destination place for locals. It's more of a place for all the tourists and people who are at Disneyland to go eat and shop. So if you close down the hotels and the theme parks, then Downtown Disney isn't really, I mean, a few people will probably go there, but not a lot of people are going to go there. And I'll be honest with you right now, a lot of people have stopped shopping as much as you would think at just normal retail establishments because of this. Now, obviously, it hasn't stopped people from buying toilet paper and bottled water. Crying out loud, people stop buying so much toilet paper? You don't need that much. But, the last I checked, they don't sell toilet paper at Downtown Disney. So, who knows? Who knows? But, and then the same thing can be said for, across the coast here on the East Coast for Disney World. This place closes. That is a tourism mecca. And I don't know, maybe someone can look it up. I know Universal out here, I believe, is closing. Is Universal in Florida closing also? And maybe SeaWorld too. But you close down 4 Disneyland parks. Well, really 7, because I think they have some water parks and stuff over there. But you close those down. What does that mean for everybody? Not just working at Disneyland. Like Disneyland said, they're going to pay their employees, but everybody who works off property. I mean, how many hotels are in Orlando that are going to be affected by this? Restaurants, small mom and pop shops. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Technical difficulties. Our boarding pass is postponed. Oh no, Becky's coming straight from Disneyland live right now. They're having technical difficulties on the ride, and their boarding pass is postponed. Well, that's a bummer. Hey, RV into Disney. And I'm going to agree with MH Bauer 94 that I cannot wait for all of this to be over. Stay safe, y'all. I agree with you 100%. I think that it is very serious, but I think some people there's a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to COVID-19 and with what's going on. I mean, and I'm glad that Disneyland, the resorts, the city, and the state we live in is trying to take preventative measures to reduce the spread of this, to hopefully get it to run its course, per se. But I don't think it's going to run its course by the end of the month. Really, I believe that this is going to be around for the next 4 to 6 months as this cycles through our population. This is just something that I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe I could be spreading misinformation right then and there, but this is not some overnight 2-3 week thing. But I understand that they're trying to give an end date. They don't want to make it too late. And, they'll update as needed, I'm sure, if there's going to be a closure that is longer than what is called for. But, like I said, Michael Searle and family, they were coming down. Jeff was coming down, and those plans are canceled for now. And maybe it's for the best, but it does throw a wrench in your thought process. Now I'm scared because we're going to Tennessee in May, or are we? Like, is May off the books right now, or is it going to be safe? Because I don't want to book airfare, hotel, rent a car, buy my tickets to Dollywood and other attractions and things that are going on over there, all to have it be canceled. So I'm really going to hold off, and we're going to do this trip last minute if everything goes okay with it. But I will have to see, because I have a feeling that, a lot of people look at Disney and they are kind of the bar setters and the trendsetters. And so if they're closing down their parks and they're willing to do that and take a huge loss, then I think other people in the theme park industry are going to look at that and follow suit. So yeah, it's we'll see. We'll see. Let's go back to the comments here and see what we got here. Lisa says, I believe that too, Josh. Let's see. Josh, you are correct. 3 to 6 months and no vaccine till 2021. Let's see. Your Tuesday night live stream will be more important than ever. Yes, for entertainment purposes. That's another, so there's all these different aspects to it too. But from a vlogging aspect, like I do have some videos that I've never posted that are a little bit older content, some ride-throughs and stuff like that. But from a vlogger standpoint, there's a lot of Disney vloggers that just do Disney, and what are they going to do? Like, they've posted all their content. How are they going to create new content for the entertainment for everybody out there in the YouTube community? And this is just something that's not the most important thing in the world. Obviously our health and our well-being is the most important thing. But while we're sitting at home isolated, we would like to be able to see stuff we enjoy on the old TV or the computer or the iPad or your phone. And so what is going to happen? And like Daniel said, Daniel, and I know Daniel, and they're cutting his hours at work. He's in an industry that, yeah, it's affecting his hours. And I know, like, for me, like, we had a big conference where Daniel works last year, and this year I was supposed to go to Florida at this really big, massive hotel that has a huge convention center, and there's gonna be thousands of us there, and it was going to be a really great event. And let me just tell you, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on this event. Canceled, gone, done, finite, no more. It is over. So imagine that much revenue just from one event gone. So I can't even imagine that these people who work at these places, they're probably not going to lose their jobs. Hopefully not going to lose their jobs, because it is a temporary thing, but hours are getting cut. Maybe you're a full-time worker that was making 40 hours a week and you're paid hourly, and now they're like, well, we can still keep you at 32. Technically, then keep you at 30 hours and keep you full-time status. So we're going to cut you down to 32 hours instead of 40. So that's 8 hours of pay. That's a lot of money every week to be losing out on. And I don't know what the case is for everybody, but for me, I could just say I guess I'm lucky because I don't get paid hourly. So whether I work or not, I get paid. So I guess I'm lucky on that. But Becky, it gets paid hourly, and that's and if she doesn't have work, then that's income that we don't get. And so it does affect everything, not just this Disneyland closure and stuff, but it really is affecting all industries, industries that you don't even think it would affect. It's affecting, and that's for sure. I mean, just even, well, you probably think it's affecting the restaurant industry. It is definitely affecting the restaurant industry, but it's affecting retail establishments. I know, like, Costco is probably doing really well because they're selling tons of water and toilet paper. Or maybe they're not, because people aren't buying all the other stuff. They're going in, buying their 2 packs of toilet paper, their 2 packs of water, and they're leaving. So they're not doing a lot of shopping. So it could be affecting them too, bottom line wise. I mean, you're only talking about a couple SKUs that they have in Costco that are really selling out like crazy. But, maybe their, meat area isn't doing so well, or maybe the liquor business isn't doing so good over there. I mean, I don't know, but it's definitely affecting a lot of places, and it's getting to a point where I don't want to say it's scary. I just think it's we have to be cautious, and I just hear so many people say so many crazy things that are not true. I'm gonna tell you one. I'll tell you one that I heard. This was a legit person talking to me, and they really thought this could possibly be the truth. They thought that Donald Trump created the coronavirus to win the re-election because he has a vaccine already that he is going to release to the world and look like a hero. And he's doing this to win the election. This was somebody they actually thought that was true. I had to break it down to them and just logically thinking, go piece by piece through that and show them like, are you really seriously saying that to me right now? Like, okay, think of all the players. Think of just think of logistically how that would have to happen. I mean, come on. So I'm sure there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there and stuff, and would be like, no, this is totally true, but no. So it's kind of crazy. Let's go back to the comments here for a minute and see what's being said out there. They're cutting my hours of work too. All refurbs can be completed early now without the crowds. That could be a positive if they bring in the workers to do it. But remember this, that if Disneyland is not making a lot of money because the parks are closed, they're probably slowing down on the construction because they also don't want to be spending a lot of money because the parks are closed. They have budgets that they have to meet monthly, quarterly, yearly. Yearly, you think, okay, yeah, they can make that up. But what about monthly, weekly, quarterly, especially quarterly? They might not be able to make that up. February, March, it depends on when they start their fiscal year. If they started in February, well, March, April is the end of their quarter, their first fiscal quarter. Or if they started it in January, February, March is the end of the fiscal quarter. And they have to show some sort of not a complete loss because, they got stockholders and stuff too, that they have to show these performances to. So, I think that we're going to see the construction slow down also as they do that. Jeff Pike says, a lot of us get great medicine for our mental health from Disneyland and this community. So thanks once again. Yeah, and that's it's just something. This is, Disneyland's kind of our release, and it's kind of our way to escape. So it's interesting to see what happens there. Think of all the small hostels and restaurants around them that are going to suffer. You must be from Europe or right? I don't know how to say your name. Naruto Ninja 12XX, because you're talking about hostels. We really don't use the word hostels here in America that much. We just call them hotels or small hotels. But interesting. Personally, I wouldn't want to be away from the home front during this time. Yeah, that's true. Humans, let alone Trump, are not intelligent enough to create a virus like this. Yeah, I got you there, Jeff. Cargo, how you doing? Hey, Carlos, how's it going? So, yeah, Trey Porter, why are you coughing, bro? Are you okay? Trey, so if you don't know, and some people who saw the last live stream, I was sick last week and the week part of this week. So not so much. I was getting better on Monday, and I've really been feeling better. I actually went to Disneyland today. We've been feeling great, but with the flu that we got, there's this itch in your throat and this little cough that kind of just sticks around for a while. so far, everyone who's had it that I know that either I work with or in our family right now, that's the one thing that has been sticking around is this little cough. So I feel fine. I feel great, but I still have this little bit of cough that is there. And I've been told it takes a few weeks for that cough to go away. So yeah, I'm not, and it's Trey, here's the worst part about it. Having a cough and being in public is horrible right now. It's completely horrible. People look at you, they want to shun you, they don't want anything to do with you. But I can't help it. If you get that little itch and you got a cough, you got a cough. We cover our mouth and stuff, and I try to do it as quiet as possible because people look at you like you're the plague. It's like, no, man, it's just a flu. I don't got the coronavirus or anything like that. But or maybe I do, and I don't know. Who knows? I was telling Becky this earlier that I actually wish that when I got the flu, because I was so bad, it put me out, man. I was in bed for days, like I couldn't eat or anything. But I almost wish that it was the COVID-19 virus, because once you get it, you pretty much, your body builds that immunity to it, and then you're pretty much not going to get it again. There's no guarantee, but you're pretty much good to go. And then I won't have to worry about all this stuff that everyone's talking about. Arvin Disney says our public schools are closed for 3 weeks too. Yeah, so all the Cal State universities around here are closed to pretty much online classes. Cal State University, Long Beach, UCLA, I believe USC is closing. Cal State Fullerton, I believe, is going to what they want to. They haven't completely shut down, but I believe they are wanting to. But not the high schools and the elementary schools and middle schools. I haven't heard anything yet about them closing down locally around here. Jeff Pike says our public schools are closed for 6 weeks, and he's up north in, I believe, Washington. So yeah, it's just crazy what's going on. And, they're just trying to really eliminate these mass gatherings, because you get one person and then boom, all of a sudden everybody else around it. My mom and dad went to Barcelona yesterday, and we're staying with our grandma. I hope they come back home and stay in Europe without staying in Europe for a month. Yes. So I saw that they were flying somewhere, and I thought that's where they were going. And I was like, man, bad timing, because, what other countries in Europe are going to close down? Italy's completely shut down. And what else is going to happen over there in Europe? So, and then now Disneyland Paris closing down. I don't have the exact date on Disneyland Paris. I'm assuming the timelines are very similar to what we're doing here, but who knows really. Let's see. Wildlife Nature Day says, I'm in Sonora, California, and so far no outbreaks in this area that I know of. School's still open here. And it's crazy because, like, we live in Orange County, and the LA County is close by, and there's outbreaks. I don't want to say outbreaks. There's people who are infected with it here, but there's so many people. Like, I mean, in Orange County, there's over 1 million people. LA, there's over 4 million or 3 million people, right? In LA. So, to have 4 or 5 people with it's not a lot compared to the population, but we'll see what happens. What the scary part was the NBA, closing down the games. The guy from what team was that guy from that got it? And, imagine if you're an NBA player and you're playing that team, your bodies are sweating. You're out there, grinding on each other, defending and playing offense and all this stuff. And, all that, you're touching each other and stuff. So I'm curious to see how many NBA players actually get this virus from this, because, with such close contact in the quarters that they're in, like it's crazy. And I heard he wasn't very cautious. I heard he was doing a lot of touching and stuff in the locker room. And, he even was making fun of stuff at a press conference and touching microphones and stuff. And guess what? He thought he had the best of the coronavirus, but I think it got the best of him. Let's see, dude, it's crazy because my mom has been planning on going to Italy for their trip. And so they canceled Italy and just went to Barcelona. They went on the trip. Yeah. It's kind of a bummer, and that's why I'm saying, I'm so worried about making travel plans, even though, oh my gosh, the prices are so good. But I have a feeling that's going to change as they cancel all these prices or all these flights and everything. That the prices will go back up. But it doesn't matter if you can get a $50 hotel room if you have nowhere to go when you get there. I don't want to just go sit in a $50 hotel room that was like $300 at one point. I want to go out on an adventure and go to different places. So it's going to be tough to see what happens with our vacation plans. I was taking vacation at the end of this month in March, and I'm actually canceling that whole vacation, and I'm going to postpone it till April, and then we're going again in May. But and that was just for some R&R. But for me, R&R is going to Disneyland, man, and Disneyland's going to be closed at the end of March, so I can't go. So it's affecting me in that way, where I was just going to take like a staycation and go to Disneyland Resort and California Adventure and just hang out and have some alone time, hang out with some friends there, and now that's done. That's gone. So, let's see what is being said here in the comments. Here in New York and New Jersey, things are closed for a week or two. We didn't get much snow, so they are probably using those days. Okay, got it. Let's see. RV into Disney says, I think self-quarantine for a few weeks is smart right now. I'm really worried about single parents and parents who work and don't have means to find babysitters while kids are out of school. Yeah, that's another thing too. When they talk about closing the schools, is where do you put all of these children? Especially the younger ones. I understand the older ones, but the younger ones, like what happens? Where do they go? Because especially if you have two working parents, or even worse, if you only have a single parent household, what happens then? So, does that parent now have to call out of work and miss work to take care of their child, which is then another loss of income? Let's say they don't have any sick pay. Here in California, if you work for a company, and even if you're part-time, you can get up to 24 hours of sick pay per year. But let's say you've already been sick, you had the flu like me, and you missed a week of work, then you use your sick pay, and then what? Hey, DDG is in the house. Everyone say hi to DDG out there. Hi, Sandra is joining us on Facebook. Downtown Disney is still going to be open, Sandra, and lucky for I guess the few people who will be going there. But I think there's going to be an issue though, like with Downtown Disney, like the restaurants and stuff, because are they really going to stock up on that much food and supplies when they know the park's going to be closed for 3 weeks? I don't know. It's pretty crazy. But it's just weird how fluid this situation has been, because we were at Disneyland and we got the report that Disneyland and DCA are closing. First, I was like, okay, is this fake Facebook news or is this real? What's going on? So we had to kind of sort that out. And then I could see when I went on Channel 7, the news app there, that for sure it was real. And then because I started getting text messages and DMs from people all over, with pictures of Disneyland closed, Disneyland's closing. And let me tell you how fast the misinformation goes, though. Becky got a text from somebody from work saying, Disneyland's closing right now. And Becky's like, no, they're not. I'm actually at Disneyland. They're like, no, you don't understand. They are closing Disneyland right now. She's like, but I'm here in the park. It's not closed. We're here. We're actually physically standing here. They didn't want to believe her almost. It was like, no, you don't understand. They are closing today, right now. And it's like, no, they are not closing today. So you still got one more day, one more chance to get in there tomorrow. I have a feeling that Disneyland's going to be very crowded tomorrow. I have a feeling that a lot of annual pass holders are going to be heading over to the Disneyland Resort to squeeze in that last visit, to use up their tabs for food and wine. But food and wine goes through April, and I'm hoping Disneyland opens back up, because could you imagine, you guys, the 1 year, I'm talking the 1 year, they change up the food and they do such a great job at food and wine, and we haven't done it yet. They close the parks down. They just close everything down. And it's like, oh, I guess I might not be able to get to experience food and wine. I mean, that's okay in the big scheme of things, but I'm just saying, I kind of was looking forward to the food and wine. I mean, we just talked about that on Tuesday, how I was looking forward to that. And I was wishing maybe, hopefully they open the parks back up in April, because I do want to take my vacation at the beginning of April, after April 3rd, like April 3rd through, I don't know, the 13th or something like that. And it would be great if Food and Wine opened up and we're able to catch it. Glad we did Food and Wine last week. We still have one tab, but oh well. Well, that just upped the price of all the stuff you just purchased on Food and Wine. No, so you know, it's a give and take, and I'm happy they're taking precautions and they're doing this stuff, but it's crazy. Yeah, and then just even with everything else too, like the NBA, the NHL, soccer leagues, all these things, they're just shutting down the season, temporarily suspending seasons, and I worry for the economy and for really more the people that it affects and their wages. That's what I worry. Becky's jumping in saying hi from Disneyland. Is it raining right now in Disneyland? Did it stop? Did it make it perfect for you guys? Because I got soaked earlier at Disneyland. Soaked. Jess says, I am really sad and scared for Anaheim if the park is packed tomorrow. Community spread is real, and we can slow this down with self-quarantine. Yeah, but I'm telling you, people who love Disney will be there, especially if it's going to be their last chance to get some Disney in for about 3 weeks. Then they probably will, risk it. I should say. But I think you guys, if you really, you need to make sure you have good hygiene practices. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. And if you can't count to 20, then just sing happy birthday twice, and that'll give you your 20 seconds. But, warm soap and water is always, wash your hands thoroughly and do this. So I was talking to somebody and they're like, really think about how many times you touch your face and try not to. And I'm going to tell you, after they said that, I started noticing how many times I touch my face, and I touch my face a lot. I mean, I would think in a given day, I probably touch my face almost 100 times. It's crazy. Hey, Nadia B, howdy. So yeah, really, this is my challenge to you guys. After this stream, until you go to bed tonight, try to count how many times you touch your face, whether it be just a swipe here, a little of this, or a little of that, or whatever the case is, and leave it in the comment of this live stream. How many times you touched your face, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm talking less than half a day, and I was already at like 40 times. I mean, just from an itch. Because what do you do when you get an itch on your face? You got to touch it, right? You're like, I got to touch my face. But it's just so you do it unconsciously. It's just something that just happens. And you don't even think, like, the person said something to me, and I literally touched my face seconds after they said it. And then I was like, oh my God, I touched my face. What? I couldn't control it. It was crazy. Juan, you touch your face after you wash your hands. Well, I can tell you this. I've touched my face before and after I wash my hands. Watch your 401ks if you have one. Lost 3,000 yesterday. Yeah, luckily I have many more years until retirement. So the 401k will bounce back and grow, Trey. But man, I feel bad for people who are retiring this year. They might have to hold on for just a minute because, with the stock market the way it is and with everything happening, I'm sure this is not the end of where we see some economic effects from this happening. But, this just kind of shows it's always good to have a little bit of savings out there. And luckily for us, we got good jobs that are, taking care of us. Disney David Jeb says, I live like this, touching my face all day, so it's really hard. Yeah. It's really hard. And then, who knows? But I didn't think, it was in the back of my mind this morning when I saw the Anaheim statement about, so I'm jumping all over the place here, but that's okay. about gatherings of more than 250 people, but I really wasn't expecting to see Disneyland announce that they were closing their parks till the end of the month. I really didn't think they were going to do that. It makes you wonder what else is going to be done out there, because it's kind of this is big news. I mean, this is a huge corporation that is going to lose millions of dollars. And I'm glad that they're doing it, because it seems like they're doing it for the right reasons, because there is no good reason to close Disneyland except for to try to help control the spread of COVID-19 virus. But they're going to lose a lot of money, and maybe in the end it'll be worth it in the long run for them to do this, because if they can help prevent the spread of this, and if we can get through this in the next few months faster than sooner than later, I guess you could say, in the long run, it'll help them, with their income stream and with the opening the parks back up and getting things back to normal. It's just when something this big happens, to think of this, all Disney parks in America are going to be closed. How huge that is. And it really kind of says, should I be worried? It says, do I should maybe just really reevaluate my thought of this, and making sure that I'm doing my due diligence to make sure that I have the proper supplies at home. No, I'm not going to go buy a year's worth of toilet paper, people. Don't worry. I'm not that person. But, do I have enough? Because everyone else seems to be doing that. And then, are we looking at ourselves and saying, are we eating healthy? Are we taking care of our bodies when this isn't around? And are we doing what's right for us, so that when something like this does happen, we're healthy enough to get through this? Because, this is affecting the elderly and people with other underlying conditions. This is affecting them in a very bad way. And you know what I mean when I say that. And, it's not affecting younger people as much, because, and I'm just assuming here, you guys correct me in the wrong in the chat, because this is me just talking and stuff. But because we have better, our health, our system, our health, we're healthier, we have a better immune system, but I feel bad for the people who don't have good immune systems. Becky's one of them. She doesn't have a very great immune system. I mean, she was sick for over a week and a half, and she was down. I mean, just down. And she had to take antibiotics and have all these breathing things and all this crazy stuff. But, because, and I didn't have to go through all that. I mean, I was down, but, I took some Tylenol and I took some cough medicine, and boom, I get better. I didn't have to do all this other crazy stuff that she had to do. So I feel, people with lower immune systems, this is a scary time for them, for sure. And let's be mindful of that, and just be comforting to your family and friends out there, because that's really important. You don't know, everyone's taking it differently. And I think if you can go to the CDC website, if you could read up on it and just get facts, so you're not spreading misinformation, I think is also very important. Tom Hanks and his wife had it there over in Australia, and they came down with it, and they're self-quarantining now. Luckily for them, luckily for a lot of us, we live here in America, in a first world country, where we have access to good health care in most cases, not always. I'm speaking generally here, but luckily we're not like some places where they're just not going to have the same access that we do, or they're just not as healthy as we are because of their situation. And it's tough. It's tough. Let's see. Jeff Pike says, yes, let's all get really healthy during this time, and we will all go. We will all go own the mountain challenge when we get back on the backside of this. Yes, Jeff. I don't think I care how healthy I am. I think that that I cannot keep up with you when it comes to the mountain challenge, and everyone else knows now too. I was really looking forward to seeing you and Michael do the mountain challenge, but we'll just have to wait for it to be a little bit later. Mark Way Up, what is up, Mark Way Up? It's good to see you up way past your bedtime here, or maybe you already ate dinner, Mark. I don't know, but Mark says, it's serious when Disney chooses to close, but anyone who has ever been there knows the crowds. Yeah, and like I said, it's a choice, and Disney, I think, made a very unselfish choice, hopefully, and did the right thing by what they're doing. And definitely for me, having a daughter that's a cast member, saying that they're going to pay their employees while this closure happens, I think is awesome, because, one of the biggest costs, and I don't know if it's the same for Disney, but one of the biggest costs, or probably the biggest cost of running a business, is your labor cost. Your labor cost takes up a huge chunk of your profits out of a business. And especially a business like Disney, where it's very labor intensive, where you have to have a lot of employees. So to still pay them and not make any profit from ticket sales, food sales, merch sales, all that stuff is pretty awesome. So Mark Webb says, so Walt Disney World will be next, right? Walt Disney World is next. It's already on the books. It's closing this Monday. Walt Disney World is closing. And then I'm not sure about their hotels. I think they were saying something, maybe their hotels might stay open. And so in Walt Disney World, the difference is I believe their hotels are going to stay open. And obviously Disney Springs is going to stay open, just like our downtown Disney is going to stay open. But in Disneyland, the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels will be closing. But in Walt Disney World, what I'm hearing is the hotels will still be open. I mean, I'm not sure how full they're going to be, because if the resorts are closed, then, but I think they have a lot more international travelers there. And so they, if they can't get them out as fast and they have nowhere to go, they just, let them stay there and do their time there. Did Disneyland even close on 9/11? I don't think it did, Trey. I'm remembering 9/11, and I know I had to go to work, and that was a really weird experience. But I don't remember if Disneyland closed there, because I was actually working that day. From when it happened in the morning, I was at home, to going to work, and then just that whole day was just such a weird experience, Trey. Let's see. Yes, Disney said Disney closed for 9/11. Okay, so it did. So, okay. I guess that would make sense, because, there was so much up in the air that day and so much confusion going on that, they had to. Disneyland has closed 3 times in their history before this. Jeff, yes, but have they closed for 3 weeks? Or is it, I keep saying 3 weeks, like I know this for a fact, but I think it's like around 3 weeks, right? From now, what's the date today? The 10th? So, or 2 weeks, I should say, 2.5 weeks, something like that. This is going to be the longest Disney probably has ever closed, ever. They closed for the morning of JFK. The morning of JFK. Yeah, well, that makes sense too. I can see that. I probably wouldn't see that happening in this day and age, but back in that day and age, yes, you see that. Half a month. So we're talking 15 days. So I don't think Disneyland's ever closed for half a month. Maybe Disney World's closed for, I don't even know if Disney World's closed for half a month. Maybe they've had a hurricane or something like that where they've had to close, but that's a long time. Here's my question. Now, this is me starting to think more on the business side of Disney and getting more into this aspect of it. Is they already have their resorts stocked with food and different things. And I'm talking more perishables, because I know merchandise and stuff like that they can hold on to. But think of the loss they're going to take when it comes to all of the food that they already have ready to go there, that they're going to have to throw away, or maybe they can donate it. I don't know, but I'm sure their freezers are packed to the gild with stuff, and then all the food for food and wine that they have that, now what are they going to do with it? it's gone. It's going to have to go away, go to the wayside. I mean, they're not going to freeze it. They do frozen stuff, but they do some fresh stuff there too. So, okay, Michael. Michael came in and said insurance will cover the loss. Yes, this is why businesses do have insurance. So yeah, there you go. But who's going to cover the loss for the insurance company? Let's see here. Jeff Pike says, no, never this long, and most likely it'll be much longer. I agree with Michael. Oh, okay. Michael said they will be closed all of April too. That's your prediction, Michael? They will be closed April. I predict that they will be closed longer. I don't think the end of the month is going to be soon enough, but really the this is going to be around, like I said, probably 4 to 6 months. So I don't foresee them closing for 4 to 6 months. I can't fathom that would even happen. But you really never know. I guess as only time will tell is, obviously we're getting more cases of COVID-19, but also at one point it will start to drop down a little bit. So we'll have to see. But the difference here in America too is that we haven't been doing a lot of testing at all compared to other countries. I mean, so we need to start ramping up the testing for COVID-19 to really get a true number of what it's like out there, because I guarantee you there's a ton of people out there who have the coronavirus who have, what are they gonna, they just don't know it because there's no testing going on. There's a little bit now. It's starting to ramp up this week, but it's like, come on. Michael says in Wyoming they can only test 10 people a day. Well, that's more than the whole population of Wyoming, Michael. Like don't you guys only have like 10 people in the whole state, right? Or you're including cats and dogs, so you guys have like 20. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's crazy. I mean, you have countries that are testing, 200,000 people a day, and I think in the United States we've tested like what, 10,000, 20,000 people in the whole United States from the whole time, not even a day, So we're behind the times. So hopefully we'll see that ramp up, and because the only way to help prevent the spread is by testing. I mean, we have to test. We have to find out who has it. Because if you don't know who has it, then how are you going to prevent it from being spread? I think some people have probably already had and don't know. Yeah, and like I'm saying, like they're saying a lot of people who get the COVID-19 have mild symptoms, maybe a little bit of a cough, nothing major, and then it comes and goes, and they're good to go. Like they don't have to worry about catching this virus again. So, once you have it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like pretty much it's kind of like the chicken pox. Like once you have it, like you don't got to worry about it. Now you got to worry about the next variation that might come out of the woodworks, but hopefully, that doesn't happen anytime soon. CDC says that 80% who have COVID-19 won't be tested. Yeah, that's pretty much, especially here in America and maybe even everywhere else, but I know they're doing a lot more testing in other places. Hi, Lisa A. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. So that's a good one. Where did it go? Right here. Zach, I appreciate that information, Zach. That, and I agree with that 100%. Like, I was thinking, I was like, oh, Becky's been to the doctor when she got sick. She was to the doctor like 3 or 4 times, maybe even 5 times. And I'm thinking, so for sure we don't have the coronavirus because she's been to the doctor so many times. And like, but I'm like, well, they never tested her specifically for it. So really, maybe we did get it and we didn't even know. Hey, who knows? But it's tough, and I don't mean to make light heart of RV into Disney. Yes, unless it mutates. That's what I was talking about earlier about not getting it. But you never know. You never know right now what's going on. Did I see somebody say Alpha Traveler 1 is in the house? What is up, Kenny? Thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping by. So awesome. Let's see. We have suspicion that my little sister may have had it back in mid-February, but the doctor didn't even test her. Lady Hoshi. Yeah, you never know, but there are some symptoms that are similar to the flu, but it doesn't have all the symptoms of that. And like I said, most of the time with most of the people, it's going to come through and it's going to be pretty, it's not going to affect you very much. So, which would be great if that was for everybody, but it's not for everybody. Some people it's going to affect them in a very negative way. And, we hope that they get through it and everything is okay. Let's see. Lisa had to cancel their Maui vacation. We were supposed to fly this morning. Luckily, airline hotel were great with refunds. Washington State hit hard. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, Lisa, earlier. It's like, obviously, Jeff had to cancel a trip. Michael had to cancel a trip. We have not yet. I haven't even booked our trip yet because of this. Like normally, I would have already booked our trip for where we're going, but I haven't because of all this stuff going on, and I'm just kind of waiting. And usually I'm kind of last minute when it comes to vacation booking, but not this much last minute. So, because we're planning on vacation in May, and we now are thinking we're probably going to have to. Well, I'm thinking, I know Becky doesn't want to, but I'm thinking we're probably going to have to cancel our trip. And then Becky keeps sending me these text messages like, instead of Tennessee, let's go to Cuba. The air flights are only $200. It's only $200 round trip to go to Cuba. Da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, but what if you go and you get stuck there because they don't let you out because they have to quarantine the whole island? No. I think better safe than sorry. And I think just minimal contact with everybody. Do what you have to do. I mean, I have to, in my business, I have to interact with people, and that's just kind of the way it is. But it is what it is. Mark Wayup says we were on our way to Germany in September, but are postponing it, and that's September. Mark, I'm hoping by September this whole thing is over with for the most part, and we can get back to our normal lives by then. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Another thing too, you guys, is when you're out and about, please be patient with wherever you grocery shop, wherever you, if you go to Targets or Walmarts or, Ross's or TJ Maxx's or Nordstrom's or wherever you go, restaurants, be patient with them because they're also running into supply issues when it comes to hand sanitizer and stuff like that. Nobody's trying to run out of soap. Nobody's trying to not provide you with ways to sanitize your hands and wash your hands. And people are using it up like it's crazy. So you have to just be patient with them. If you go to a place and they ran out of soap in the restroom, don't go yell at somebody. Just go talk to a manager or somebody and say, hey, just want to let you know the soap ran out in the restroom, because people are going crazy and they're using more soap and they're using more sanitizer than they would normally use. So, and I'm not saying that's crazy. I should say that's crazy. It's good to wash your hands, and maybe this is helping people get better hygiene practices, but nobody's trying to be cheap here and not supply you with stuff. And if you're really that concerned about it, don't go out. Stay at home. You know what I'm saying? But don't blame other people because you're freaking out. That's all I gotta really say. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. MGM Alpha Traveler says MGM in Vegas will close all their buffets next week. Yeah, so I was having this weekend an associate appreciation, and we're gonna buy all sorts of food for the employees, and we kind of had to reel it back and go, okay, what can we do to make this a little bit more sanitary? Okay, so let's try to see if we can get individually wrapped items. Let's see, maybe we can do individual lunches instead of buffet style. No pizzas, because then there's multiple hands on the food and stuff like that. So it is affecting a lot of things. Decisions on every weird aspect of life that you wouldn't even think that this would really have too much effect on, but it is. So yeah. Let's see. Lisa A says, yes, very sad, but better to be safe. Definitely. But just have patience out there, guys. That's really, we say this when we go to Disneyland. We say, have patience with cast members. They're dealing with a lot. There's a lot of things that are happening. There are a lot of people there, and there's a lot of happy people and there's a lot of cranky people. But have that in everyday life too. When you're dealing with people who work in the public, just be patient with them, especially right now. Don't freak out if you see somebody cough and go yell at somebody and say, why are they working? They're coughing. Like I said, maybe they just have allergies. They're not even sick, So, but just treat everybody with kindness and respect. It's kind of my little message right now, is just treat everybody with kindness and respect and be nice out there to everybody. It goes a long way, Treat everybody how you would like to be treated. Unless you like to be treated like crap, please don't go treat everybody like crap, because then you're a weirdo because you like to be treated like crap. But don't do that. Okay. Let's see. That was really, you guys want to keep this going for a little bit longer? We can keep it going for a little bit longer. I really talked about everything that I wanted to get off my chest as far as Disneyland was concerned. Let me see. I have a few tabs over here that I just wanted to see if there was anything else that we needed to talk about. See, those parks will be closed by the 15th. In the U.S., there's more than 1,300. Trying to see if there was any new update on any of the other theme parks. Anybody else out there in the chat want to look it up? If there's anything out there, take a look and see if there's any other theme parks that have been closing down. Let's see. Alpha Traveler says people are setting up shop on the street and selling $10 a face mask and a pack for $60. Talk about gouging. Yes, and face masks aren't even effective for you healthy people out there. If the face mask is designed for if you're sick, really it's designed for if you're a doctor and you were in like surgery or something, or seeing a patient and you happen to cough, that it coughed into the face mask and not into the patient, or really for surgery, so you're not coughing into an open wound that they're performing surgery on. But if you're not sick, wearing a face mask is not going to prevent you from getting this. If you touch things and if people cough around you, you still have openings. In most of these face masks, there's still openings on the side because they're just simple and they go around the ear. And so if the virus is in the air and you breathe in, it could suck in through the air, through the side. So pointless, people. No need to wear the face mask. It's okay. Universal is closed in Florida, I heard. Closing? I don't think it's closed yet, but maybe it's closing this weekend, Cargo? Or maybe it's closed now. It's very possible. I could be totally wrong, but and then here's another misnomer about some protection is gloves. So a lot of people are inquiring and want to wear gloves. Just so you know, we've been told that, and this, I'm pretty sure this is correct. Never quote me on anything medical because I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. The virus can live on the surface of your gloves just like it can live on the surface of your hand. So the thing with gloves is when you're wearing gloves, you have this false sense of security, and you are probably more likely to touch your face more when you're wearing gloves because you think you're protected. But that is not the case. So if you, Mark says he asked a question. Sorry, Mark, I missed it. I will get back to it. I see it though, right there. So if you're wearing gloves, that doesn't change anything. The virus can live on the gloves. So if you're wearing gloves and you touch your face, there you go. Too bad, so sad. But let's get to Mark's question here. Do you know yet if Disney will be giving pass holders credit for time they can't go? That is the question that will probably never be answered. Well, it will be answered when they don't give us the credit. But that was a question that I have gotten a lot of actually through DMs and stuff. And I don't think so. But if enough people call Disney and ask, maybe they might think of saying, okay, we're going to give you a credit, or we're going to say we're going to give you an extra month at the end of your renewal. So you don't have to renew. Like, let's say for us, we renew April 30th, I believe it is, May 1st. So maybe they say, oh, well, you can renew June 1st now, and we'll give you those extra 30 days. even though it's not a 30-day time right now, we're still only it's only going to be about 2 weeks. So you just don't know. Hey, it's JK. I changed my name. How's everyone? Oh, his and hers. Yes, I recognize you from your picture though. So awesome. JK has changed the name to his and hers. If I wasn't tired, I would jump up and down. Okay, that was Mark talking. Oh, RV to Disney. Can't Touch This is making a comeback in 2020. The old MC Hammer song. I used to dance to that in high school. You know that? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, is it in the contract that they are subject to closure? I believe it is in the contract they are subject to closure. So the ball's in their court when it comes to that. Nobody's going to be able to force Disney to give them a refund for a couple weeks, because when you buy an annual pass, that is there. It's just like buying a ticket today and going on a rainy day. Well, you don't get your money back because it rained. You still you go to the park or you lose out, and that's it. So it is what it is. Give you a month is what I heard, but nothing confirmed. Well, that would be nice. It would be nice. I mean, I would think, especially for Disneyland Resort here in California, because it is they have way more APs here than they do in Walt Disney World, and annual pass holders bring in a ton of revenue for the parks. So it is very important that they keep the annual pass holders happy, even though sometimes we don't think that, but I think it is very important that they keep us very happy. But Disney is more afraid of bad press, so I think they might. Yeah, Alpha. I think so, Kenny. That you never know. You never know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We really will. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. All I know, guys, is no Disneyland. I'm going to assume no Knott's Berry Farm, which is going to make me pretty sad, because, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do with my life? More live streams? Maybe. You never know. But with that, you guys, I got to end the live stream here. I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. I do really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you so much for coming in on this last minute Thursday night. So, but we will keep you posted as we hear more things. I'm sure we will have more streams, and we'll be talking to you guys and hanging out more, which is awesome. Or maybe we'll be doing some things outside of the parks. I don't want to do too much stuff that involves going to places with a lot of people right now. It's just kind of the sign of the times. I want to be part of the solution and not the problem. I don't want to help to spread anything out there that shouldn't be spread. And, I want to listen to what the CDC is saying and trying to limit your social exposure, I guess you could call it that, and do our best to help get through this and see this get taken care of and be done with already, so we can get back to our lives and have a good time and hang out with our friends. Love your family, love your friends, love your neighbor. You guys, everybody have a great night. I can't wait to see you guys in the parks sometime in the future, hopefully April, not having to wait till May, but hopefully April. Thank you guys again for joining us. And if you haven't already done so, just make sure you hit that little thumbs up button on the way out. And if you're not a bell ringer, which our statistics say that not everybody's a bell ringer here, don't forget to hit the bell, because if we are going impromptu lives like today, you will get a notification saying that we are live, and you will not miss out on any of the action. Stay safe, you guys. Have good hygiene. Wash your hands. Take care of everybody around you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys. See you later.